is there a sense that once again the Democratic Party of the Confederacy, the Democratic Party of Jim Crow, of lynchings, the Democratic Party of affirmative action, the Democratic Party of DEI, they're thinking again about dividing up the electorate into racial and sexual categories to act as if all of us have different interests? Were you at all a little bit offended with that, or that typical for the Democratic Party?
Absolutely, absolutely. And look, there is no doubt about it. You mentioned the segregationists. That is the roots of the Democrat Party. They are the party of the KKK. They are the party of racism. They are the party of slavery. And so it is not a surprise at all that the most divisive Democrat presidential nominee, and she, for all intents and purposes, although she didn't receive one vote, is tapping into the origins of the Democrat Party. It is incredibly disturbing to see how they are dividing people up, how they are having these race-based and sex-based calls, again, to divide people into their little categories, and to suggest to people around the country that if you don't agree with dudes for Kamala or, single cat ladies for Kamala, then you're somehow outside of the norm.
J.D. Vance, I've interviewed him a dozen times, known him for 8 years. He goes to my church. Good guy. Wow. If he had to revise and extend his remarks, he probably wouldn't have said cat ladies. He would have come up with something else. But liberal women, seemingly, especially college educated, don't want to have children, don't want to get married, and they want to have hookup relationships. And the idea of a family life, which is the core of human survival, is family life, is ignored. He could have said that a bit more artfully. However, the point he's making is legitimate. Am I right or wrong? I'm never going to run for the vice president. I won't be held to account for this. But the point he's making is a valid one.
Yes, absolutely. And I was very disappointed to see some women on the right criticize him for this when he was not talking about women who want to get married and haven't been lucky in love, and so are not married and don't have kids, not because of their own decisions, but because really absent their own choices, right? It's women who haven't found the right person to get married to, or women who deal with fertility issues, or women who have had miscarriages. Of course he was not talking about those women. Those women value children, they value motherhood, they value marriage, they want those things. So, of course, he wasn't talking about them. He was talking about a segment of our society that sneers at marriage, that tells women they don't need men, that hates men. Yeah. This is what I like to call the Sex and the City demographic, which that cultural phenomenon, that television show is still with us, and it affected particularly Gen X, my generation of women, many of whom never got married, didn't have kids. And as a result, we do have a demographic of women in this country who don't have children, who are not married. And because of that, I think it really affects. Look, I wouldn't be that interested in schools if I didn't have 3 kids who were failed by the public school system. That is one of the reasons I care about. I wouldn't care so much about toxic masculinity if I didn't have 3 little boys that I'm raising to be good men. And there are feminists out there saying just by virtue of being a man, you're a toxic human being. I care about these issues because of my children, because of my offspring. And it's absolutely insane to say that these leftist women, when you look at the polling, childless single women are radical leftists. That is who he was addressing. Again, not women who believe in the family, value motherhood, even if they don't themselves experience that.
Julie Gunlock, independentwomensforum.org. A lot of programs, a lot of teaching, a lot of articles. It's wonderful. Have it on my screensaver. It's great. Once again, Julie Gunlock, you're a great American, and thank you for coming on the Bill Cunningham Show. Thank you, Julie.
Always love coming on. Thanks so much.